Welcome to SwillinGrog's wonderful world of beer. Once again, I'm joined by Beelzebub, and who is this fellow you've got along with you today?
This is Eddie. I have resurrected him, so he's a bit dishevelled for an Eddie. He's also not quite the same size. He's only 1 story tall instead of 3. But resurrecting from the grave is a bit like that. It's a bit of a hit and miss thing. And here we have Eddie from Iron Maiden. He's their mascot, and he's here with us today
because we're reviewing Iron Maiden Trooper, 4.7% ABV, brewed and bottled by Robinson's Family Brewers in the United Kingdom. So yes, folks, here we have it, Iron Maiden Trooper.
I believe it was pretty hard to come along and get that all organised there, Dave. Do you have a bit of a story for us with that?
Oh, do I have a story? A very painful story.
Eddie knows a lot about pain. He's a mummy, after all.
Yeah, look, I guess I would have got wind of this, well, that there was an Iron Maiden beer, probably back in April of this year, as a matter of fact, and I think it became available in the UK in about March, so I thought, well, it's probably not going to surface in Australia till about, say, June. You know, you give it like maybe, 3 months to show up here. Well, anyway, June comes, I kind of, hadn't kind of seen or heard anything, so I decided to, make some inquiries with, the company that distributes it here in Australia, and, after a little while I got a response from them, yeah, maybe in a few months. So a few months go past and I hear nothing, and I just kind of think, oh well, it wouldn't, it was one that it just wouldn't kind of have surprised me if it just, didn't end up here at all. But I think it was maybe a month ago I was watching Tiny's Beer Fun Friday, Tiny Bobcat Brewing, and he'd got himself a carton of it. I'm saying, oh wow, it's actually turned up. Well, I was like, well, that's great, but the distributor that I inquired with back in June never bothered to get back to me about that, did they? So I was pretty unhappy about that. But anyway, I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to seek it out, and we're going to do a review of it. But to actually get just these couple of bottles, it proved quite challenging. I had to spend a whole day, just waiting for it to show up at a particular store in Brisbane, and it cost me an arm and a leg too. It was $10 a bottle, so $20 just for these 2 bottles here, folks. Yeah, so I guess the price point, really isn't very good. So I think this will be the first and last time that we shall be trying Iron Maiden Trooper, sadly.
I did notice, though, that with the Kiss beer, which we reviewed much earlier in the year...
That was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that was also a challenge, and it was actually quite a good beer, it turned out to be. But the thing is that originally its price point was incredibly high, but then Dan Murphy's actually was selling it at a reasonable price after that. I think it's down in the 40s somewhere.
Yeah, I think they just want to clear it out. It's probably part of the reason why they didn't actually end up carrying this Iron Maiden Trooper beer. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, it is brewed by Robinson's Family Brewers, who make, Old Tom, which is, a really well-respected, British ale, old like ale. I think that's the style of it. And when I heard that, Iron Maiden had decided to, obviously get them to, brew a signature brew, I thought, wow, that's really impressive. But apparently, Bruce Dickinson is a huge fan of real ales, so he's approached a really legitimate, well-respected brewer in the UK. So I really think that this is going to be something really impressive. Anyway, I think it's high time that we actually cracked these open and made an assessment. Sorry, folks, for all that babbling, but you did want me to tell the story
absolutely.
Of how damn hard it was to actually get a hold of this.
But we've got to worry about Eddie because he is mummified, and we've dragged him out of the ground and resurrected. He might go off a little bit. So if you smell something out there, folks, it might be Eddie. We'll try and keep him as fresh as we can.
Anyway, let's pop the caps off these suckers and let's make an assessment. I'll get you to do the honours, Beelzebub. See if you can distribute them evenly. Oh, that was about $2 worth of Trooper that just went on the table there.
Well, I failed at distributing it evenly, so
Alright, so there it is, folks. Iron Maiden Trooper poured out into a nonic pint glass. So, as far as the colour goes, it's, you know, a very, you know, golden amber like colour. Call it caramelly or honey-like perhaps, but yeah, definitely on the amber spectrum. And quite clear, in fact. It's got a bit of a haze to it though, but only ever so slight. Yeah, but mostly clear. And
it does have that kind of real ale kind of haze. You're always going to get some kind of haze with real ale. And
still relatively clear,
golden rather than a reddy kind of colour, you know.
No, I definitely think it's on the amber spectrum. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, it's you know, well, perhaps more kind of caramelly or more sort of honey-like, really.
Yeah, it's got a caramel sort of colour to it. Nice lacing. Lacing's good. It's holding the head well. Doesn't seem to be very carbonated though.
I think when you poured them, we got about a finger of head there.
I poured them fairly aggressively because I knew that we had to try and
I think the head is
going there.
Sort of slightly off-white, actually. But yeah, look, it definitely looks like a beer that you'd want to drink, you know, on a day like today. Anyway, let's move on to the aroma. Whoa.
Very rich.
Yeah. There's a lot of, yeah, definitely a lot of, you know, malt present there. Very fruity. I'm detecting like a lot of toffee and caramel, actually.
Very much so.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of toffee and caramel there. Yeah, but good lord, it really does smell like, you know, really, really enticing. It
smells full body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to just jump straight to the taste test, folks. I mean, I'm really keen to check this one out.
Yeah, I think
it looks like Eddie already has.
Well, he needs some body. In the honey and all that sort of stuff. We need some body there. So
anything else you can add about the aroma, Vanessa Bob?
Toffee, caramel. It's not a lot of yeast in there. It's not like a burnt malt. It's going to be.
It's very British, actually. Very British. I'm really looking forward to tasting this. Anyway, on that note, time for the taste test.
Well,
cheers to you all.
Surprisingly supple. The nose is actually heavier than the taste.
I would have to agree. Yeah. Yeah, in the finish I'm getting like a bit of sort of some citrus sort of notes there, a sort of like sourness. It's definitely got a hop presence.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which is as an aftertaste.
Yeah, as the aftertaste, there's a definite, you know, hot, leafy almost sort of hop presence. You know, with, you know, sort of some citrus sort of notes as well. I mean, it's definitely, you know, still a very malt forward beer, but they're not as pronounced as the nose would like lead you to believe, actually.
Yeah, it's far more subtle. But it tends to spread across the palate.
Yeah.
So you get the toffee and caramel notes first at the beginning of the tongue, and then you get kind of more acidic presence at the back of the tongue over time. It's quite a complex beer, but quite a evenly spread across the palate. It's very good.
Yeah, it's definitely got a very interesting taste profile, and you know, without a doubt, you know, it's very drinkable and very sessionable. Unfortunately, here in Australia, you know, you're going to have to pay through the nose for it. I mean, I don't know, can I really recommend it to you all, in Australia at least, at $10 a bottle? I don't think so. Like, I really feel almost foolish for, going out of the way to get this. The only reason I did was, obviously for the sake of reviewing it, but...
And Eddie.
And Eddie, yeah. But otherwise, I would just be saying forget it, I mean...
500 mils, $10. That's like, okay. It's $1 for every 50 mils. That's like an eyeglass full. That's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's a real shame because it's quite good, but I wouldn't expect any less from Robinsons. They really do, brew some, really fine, beers. But
the Old Toms, the ginger and the chocolate, are also quite expensive for the kind of volume you're buying them.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe they just don't import a big enough quantity to get them at the right price. I'm not sure what's occurring there, but what it does mean is
taxation. Taxation is a big part of it.
But taxation is also proportional.
Yeah.
So if they're bringing them in a big price, they're going to get a proportionally high tax
Yeah.
price. Okay. So I think that maybe Robinsons should maybe look at a different distributor, bring them into the country, someone who can buy in a bigger lot, or maybe the distributor here and should look at bringing in a bigger.
Another thing that really cheesed me off is that this beer came out here with very little fanfare. I mean, it probably would have done all right if they'd done some sort of like marketing.
Oh, absolutely.
At least they could have doing that, maybe given it to us for a better price.
There is a lot of Iron Maiden fans out there. I think it was 2008. I saw Iron Maiden with a few friends here at the Entertainment Centre in Brisbane, and the place was packed. It was absolutely packed. It was a whole 4,000, 6,000 people, something like that. I think the Entertainment Hall. 10. So, mummies don't speak, by the way. They just, finished mortified there. So you're looking at, a big buying audience that were, if they were aware of the product, they would.
Well, I hope these fans that did get their hands on it, actually did, drink a few of their bottles. I mean, I hope it's not like what I heard about those Kiss fans who are buying up cases of the Kiss beer, just to leave them sealed up with no intention of ever drinking them. Because, folks, this is a seriously good brew.
Well, see what it's done to Eddie. That will start to relight me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, so anyway, folks, I think we've rambled on long enough. I think it's time to wrap this up and give it a score out of 10. So anyway, I shall have one last gulp.
I would, as a real ale, as a British real ale, I'm quite impressed with it. I'm going to have to take points off for the price and distribution though. But, I mean, realistically, we're actually giving points on the quality of the beer itself. So I'm going to put it in the 9s. I'm going to put it in about 9.7.
All right. Well, I'd just give it a flat 9 out of 10, actually.
Okay, so we've got an 8, a 9, and a 9.7. 4.9. So 8.9.
All right, not a bad score.
8.9.
Not a bad score at all for Iron Maiden Trooper. All right. Anyway, I think Eddie has to go. But yeah, thanks for joining us, folks. And until next time, fare thee well, all.
Proust.